Are you thinking about buying a home in a 55 and older community? Well, most of these communities are a great place to live, but there are some warning signs that can turn your dream lifestyle into a huge mistake. So today, I'm sharing 3 red flags to look out for before you buy a home in a 55 and older community. Hi, my name is Casey, and if you've been thinking about making the move to a senior community, this video might help you decide. Now, as we all know, there are a lot of good things about 55 and older communities, but there are some drawbacks too, and it's important to consider these things before you commit to buying a home. So let me share with you 3 red flags about senior communities that you really need to think about. Now, red flag number 1 is reserve funds. So let's start with the biggest issue of all, and that has to do with money. Now, every HOA has something called reserve funds, and this is money that's set aside from your monthly HOA payments, and it's used for big ticket item repairs. So think things like clubhouses, swimming pools, exercise equipment, roads, parks, and the common areas. But here's the problem. If an HOA has low reserves, these items can't be maintained, repaired, or replaced. And when these items break or become worn out, the community becomes run down and starts to look dated. And the reality is, these communities need constant upkeep and maintenance to keep them looking nice. And over time, every community needs a plan to replace and update these amenities if they want to keep attracting home buyers. So what happens when the clubhouse needs a new roof? Well, it's not just a problem for the HOA. As a homeowner, it's your problem too. And this is where reserves come in. But what happens if the HOA doesn't have enough money in reserves to make the repair? Well, it could mean thousands of dollars out of the pockets of every homeowner to make these repairs. And this could come in the form of increased monthly HOA fees, or it could be a large amount charged to each homeowner in the form of a special assessment. But either way, no one likes to receive this type of unexpected bill. And when I tour many of the 55 and older communities around Southern California, I've seen communities where the reserve funds are really low. And it's one of the worst things you want to see if you're considering buying in that community. So how do you avoid this problem? Well, I always tell people to ask to see the HOA documents before they buy a home. And when you look at these documents, you want to specifically look for the reserve study. And once you find it, you want to look for one number, and it will say percent funded. And what you want to see here is a really high number. Now, if you see anything under 50%, I'd be concerned. But if you see anything under 30%, well, in my opinion, that's a huge red flag. And it tells me the community simply doesn't have enough reserves on hand. And it tells me 3 things. The HOA fees are going to go up, homeowners are going to be hit with a big special assessment fee, or the community is going to start showing signs of age because there isn't enough money to do any of the upgrades. It's that simple. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, I'm sure you heard me talk about the community of Trilogy at Glen Ivy. And I bring this community up a lot because it's a great example of a properly run senior community. And it really is a model for other 55 and older communities. Now, if you look at the Trilogy's reserve study, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, here's a copy of the reserve study from Trilogy. And as you can see, they have a percent funded number of 83%. So if you're considering buying a home in Trilogy, this is exactly what you want to see. And even though this community is 25 years old, you'd never know it. The community is beautiful and well maintained, and it's run as well as any senior community that I've seen here in Southern California. Now, red flag number 2, deferred maintenance. And this is something a lot of buyers miss, but the sales centers, videos, and brochures of senior communities are all designed to impress you. You'll see beautiful amenities, single-story homes, and a lot of very happy seniors. But these things don't always show the big picture. Now, when you tour a community, don't just look at the beautiful clubhouse. Take the time to look at little things. How about the sidewalks? Are they cracked or uneven? Now, how about the pool area? Are there stains or cracks in the concrete? Is the furniture broken, or is it in good condition? And how about the gym equipment? Is it modern and maintained, or is it outdated and worn? And it's really important to look at these things when you tour a community, because once you start noticing this type of issues, you can't unsee it. And if the common areas look tired or neglected, it usually means one thing: maintenance has been deferred. And you really need to ask yourself, why is the HOA not keeping up with the common maintenance? Is it just a poorly run HOA? Is there not enough money to do the work? But something is wrong, and it's important to know this before you buy a home there. And the truth is, this red flag goes hand in hand with the first one. Deferred maintenance and low reserves could mean big problems in the coming months. Now, before we move on, I want to ask for a quick favor. Now, if you found this video helpful so far, and you'd like to see more videos about 55 and older communities here in Southern California, I'd love if you'd hit that subscribe button down below. Now, I post new videos every week designed specifically for seniors who are thinking about buying or selling a home. Okay, finally, red flag number 3, community drama. Now, I really hate this one, but it surprises a lot of people. But trust me on this one, because it's a real thing. When you buy a home in a senior community, you're not just buying a home, you're actually buying into a community and a lifestyle. And sadly, sometimes the culture is, well, it's not great. And I'm not saying that all communities are like this, but the truth is, some of them are. So here's some things you can do to avoid this one. Ask to see the last 6 months of the HOA meeting minutes and see if there are any patterns or ongoing issues that aren't going away. Things like, are the residents constantly arguing and complaining? Are there ongoing disputes between residents and the board? Are there issues in the community with politics, religion, or race? And are there complaints about the management company being unresponsive or overzealous? And here's what I've seen. If every meeting sounds like a battlefield, it's not going to magically go away once you move in. And here's another way to get a really good look into the culture and the environment within a community. And that's the local Facebook group or the Nextdoor page. Now, if you can get access to these pages, you're going to get a real behind the scenes look at what's really going on in the community. Now, it might be filled with kindness and friendship, with residents sharing valuable information about upcoming events and activities. Or it could be nothing more than constant fighting and complaining. But you might be shocked at some of the hateful things that are being posted in these community pages. And I know in the community that I live, these pages started off very helpful. People would always post about upcoming events, different club meetings, or invitations to meet at the clubhouse to watch a game, listen to live music, or just to grab a drink. But lately, all we're seeing now are posts about people not picking up after their dogs, people driving too fast through the neighborhood, people not stopping at stop signs, or people just complaining in general. And I have to be honest, I liked it a lot better the way it was before. But if you're going to invest your hard-earned money into a home in a senior community, I'd recommend doing everything you can to find out as much as you can about that community before you make a commitment. These communities can be a great place to live, and many are filled with great people and amenities to live an active lifestyle. But they can also be filled with people that go out of their way to make life miserable. These people constantly spread gossip about neighbors they don't like. They pressure the HOA to be overly strict and to constantly report every minor violation. And they band together to impose their opinions and beliefs upon everyone in the community. And if you happen to disagree with these people, they'll go out of their way to make your life miserable. And it doesn't take a large group of these people to really destroy the vibe within a community. And like I said before, I absolutely hate this one. But the drama in senior communities is a real thing, and it's definitely something you'll want to avoid. Living in a 55 and older community can be amazing, but it's important to find the right community. Not all 55 and older communities are the same. And like everything in life, some are good and others aren't. So I feel it's really important to do your research to make sure you find one that's a good fit for you. And if you're considering one of the 55 and older communities here in Southern California, whether it's Trilogy at Glen Ivy, the community of Terramor, or one in the surrounding areas, I can help. You can give me a call at the number up on the screen, and all of my contact information is located down in the description below. Now, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.